What are your feelings about Candyman?
What am I feeling?
Yes.
In regards to which aspect, because in the remake, it's something completely different. The remake is completely
we can
different.
Talk about that. We can talk about that soon too, because the remake, I got
the remake is different because all right. So me personally, I like the concept. Let me just touch bases on the remake real quick.
Go ahead.
I like the idea introduced in the remake about the hive. That's a cool idea. What I didn't like was that they made the hive exclusive. Like you had to be like some black person that went through some trauma. And the thing that made it kind of like head scratching was the fact that technically Helen became a member of the hive at the end of part 1 because she became a part of the urban legend. I mean, they said her name, whatever in the mirrors or whatever, she popped up. Technically, she is a part of the hive. She is a candy man or candy woman, whatever you want to call her, or candy. I don't know about whatever gender pronoun she wants to use. Yeah. but the point of the matter is they kind of just ignored her and just was like, oh yeah, she was just some crazy woman that did some crazy shit. And yeah, whatever. And they made it seem like the hive was only people like black people that have experienced traumatic things. But I feel like that kind of like killed it in a way. And then also the ending scene was hella forced. Like I went to look, you haven't seen my Candyman review. You kind of new to my channel too, so I got the opportunity to see a screener to Candyman. Like, I mean, months before it came out. I mean, months, bro. I mean, like, I want to say 6 or more months before it came out. Actually, more than that because COVID hit and then they pushed it. Yeah. So I probably saw Candyman like a year before it came out, like a year plus. The first cut didn't have Tony Todd in it, and I remember talking to the guy because we got picked for the focus group. And I was the only one that said, yo, that fucking cop scene, I didn't like it. It felt forced. And everybody was like, what you talking about? That shit was tight. I was like, nah, that shit was weak. Like, it felt forced. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it didn't feel authentic. Like, it just seemed like it got thrown in there just for, like, plot purposes, just to kind of be, like, within the talk of the day, which is, like, police brutality. Like, it really didn't feel like it didn't feel organic. It felt really forced. I was like, I didn't like it. And then it's funny because then I rewatched part 2. Candyman. No, actually, I rewatched Candyman Part 3, and the scene where she's talking to the police officer in the car, that kind of was taken completely from Candyman 3. I didn't even know that until I rewatched it. There's a scene in Candyman 3 where his great-great-granddaughter is sitting in the back seat, and the police officer's in the car, and he's talking to her, and he keeps looking in the rearview mirror, and then when he turns back, Candyman is there, and he gets the hook through his stomach or whatever, and he gets killed like that. But that scene was completely ripped from it. Go ahead.
Is part 2 or part 3? Which one is the one that was in New Orleans?
Part 2.
Part 2, okay.
Yeah, because part 3 happens in LA.
Okay. Yeah.
And then part 4 was supposed to happen on a college campus in some place that's snowy. They didn't really pick a location. But yeah. But as far as like the original Candyman continuity, I mean, the first film is classic. I think that's one of the very few films that touches on social issues, and it does it subtly, but also effectively. Because like a lot of people, you said what?
It's the one movie that scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. I taunted myself to say his name in the mirror, and then I was like, nah, I ain't that brave. But and I was afraid of that fool for forever. But anyway, I'm gonna tell him that because I'm planning on meeting him in a couple of months. He's gonna be at this con over here. But anyway,
great guy. Nice.
I heard he's nice as shit. I heard he's the kindest soul ever. But
I'm with me too. So go Yankees.
You said what?
See, he's a Yankee fan, just like Mig. So go Yankees. So
get out of here with all that. Anyway, but anyway, the original film was like it was something really, really unique for its time. Like, you know, even when I go back and watch like Tales from the Hood and shit like that, like I didn't realize how much like commentary, like social commentary, that movie had. Like, you know, I was just like when I rewatched it like a couple of years ago because I did. I have a month of madness thing where I just like I try to review like a horror movie each day for the month of October. And Tales from the Hood was one of the movies. And I was just like, when I rewatched it, I'm like, damn, like this movie really was like trying to touch on some social issues. And I never, you don't catch it as a kid. You just scared of this little zombie dude that got the zombie mayor dude running after the car with all the freaking needles popping out of him and shit. You just scared of that stuff. But you don't realize like how deep, huh?
And fun fact about the movie, that is the first horror movie that was directed by a black person.
Really? Was Ganja and Hess directed by a black person? I think it's called Blood Simple or Blood something. The original title was Blood Simple or something, but Ganja and Hess. I feel like that was directed by a black person. You correct me if I'm wrong though.
Yeah.
And the result,
what was it?
Ganja and Hess, Ganja, and then Hess, Hess. It's a movie about vampires, black vampires. And the result is,
let's find out. It was directed by a Bill Gunn, which does not sound like a black guy. Oh,
no.
Oh no, you're correct. Bill Gunn, black gentleman.
But yeah, but that's like a low key movie. Like that shit is hella low key. Like not too many people know about that. Yeah, but that definitely Tales from the Hood definitely is a more household name. I mean, you could kind of because that Ganja and Hess was like one of the first black movies to kind of like break that like black exploitation mode. You know what I mean? Like you had Blackula, Blackenstein, you had all them other like you had a couple of other movies, but that was the one that really just kind of broke the mold and was like not trying to be like, oh, what up? What's going on? You jive turkey? You know, shit like that. Like, they broke that damn mold. But now, Ganja, have you seen that movie?
I have not.
You should definitely watch that movie. It's actually really fucking good. And it has a crazy ass soundtrack.
Yeah, I see that on Tubi, I believe. So I'm gonna check it out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, watch it on Tubi, trust me. But going back to Candyman, like I said, that was a very unique movie for its time. It was damn near rare to see like a black horror icon. He's become a horror icon. He's definitely always in a top 10 discussion. I mean, I just really wish they probably would have put a little bit more respect on his name. But I mean, that's another conversation for another day. But the original movie is like really, it is one of them movies, you know. It's one of those greats up there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies. Iconic character. I love Candyman. I love. But if you look at it as, if you step back for a second and look at it, you see how problematic the character of Candyman is. You know,